Hello! It is, I think, been 2 weeks since I've done a garden tour. And as we head into the end of September, we are headed into, I think, our first frost. Which I'm not excited about, because that means most all my cut flowers are done for. My tomato season's pretty well over because they've pretty much all died, but my zinnias still look pretty okay. My snapdragons will make it through a frost, so I'm not overly worried about them. But the gomphrena, the basil, cosmos, that stuff is at the end of its season, I think. They're calling for 37, but we've got a frost warning, and it's very possible we'll end up seeing frost. So I'm gonna do a quick tour before I go through and cut some more stuff. Focused in. Here's everything we got. The caladiums will actually do pretty okay through the frost, so I'm not overly worried about these. The zinnias all have powdery mildew at this point, so they're pretty well at the end anyways, but I still have some nice blooms that I want to take. Sunflowers, I cut all the usable ones. Those ones are all multi-headed, which does not work well for cut flowers. You can do it, it just doesn't work the best. Tomatoes, pretty well all done for. These plants are died right back to the bottom, so I'll go through and pick the fruit off those. Probably pick most of the cherry tomatoes that are left. Onions, they'll survive a frost, so I'm not worried about that, but they do need to be pulled this weekend. Like, we're at the end. Got some weeds to keep up with. Those glads really didn't have, I might have one or two cuttable that I can put in a vase to enjoy for myself, seeing as they're my favorite. Snapdragons, they're actually coming on with some new spikes, so those will be exciting to still have some of those. The yarrow looks really good. Celosia's all pretty well spent. I'm gonna cut and hang everything, see how it dries. If like worst case scenario, I should get a bunch of seeds out of it, and then take all the basil. I think that can dry down too, but we'll see. I think the weather got cold enough that it killed off the cucumbers already, and I'll see if I have any squash left. I think I have some squash in there, one or two. I don't see any zucchini on this plant, but maybe. Potato rows are all pulled, but they need to be harvested or picked up. Beans are all shot, need to be cleaned out. That sage looks good. That yarrow looks good. The carrots are monstrous underneath here, like almost unusable monstrous. That is a huge carrot. But we'll pull those out. I think some critters have been getting after them. I usually pull them out slowly. The celery looks awesome. I'm not overly worried about the celery too much. That's been through a frost before. I've had it go through a frost before, and it's fine as long as it's a late frost, which is all it should be. Kale will be fine through like November. So no need to worry about the kale. This yarrow looks good. Very healthy growth. I think yarrow is hardy. I'm just not sure. Haven't experienced it yet. Gomphrena. Hopefully some of this white stuff is sturdy enough now. The pink gomphrena looks really good. Some of these are probably past their prime, like this one. Wicked done. But we'll still be good. I think it might have seed in there somewhere. Have a look. Like I said, snapdragons are fine. My mom brought me some beets, so I'm not going to worry about those ones. There might be one or two glads that I can cut. I can cut like that stem of cosmos. I can cut and the whole thing will flower yet. So I might cut some of those. If I can sneaky by here. I have my yellow cherry tomatoes. Big glorious sunflowers. And then cosmos over here to cut. So some of these, like this one's way gone, but some of these are still somewhat newer that I can take and cut. So, going to get to work to that now. So I just want to thank everyone for following along with the garden this season. It's had its ups, it's had its downs. I've really enjoyed filming everything and capturing it all on video so that I can look back and think about, some of the problems I had or some of the things that were really successful and be able to use that information this winter. And I didn't have to take the time to write it down because I just don't have the time to write it down. You have to have grace for every season. Every season's going to be a little different. This year being the mother to twins, through gardening season, it definitely cut down on the hours I have to spend out here, which I really enjoy being a mother, but I really enjoy my outside time. So we'll see what next season has to bring. But again, thank you for coming along and watching. We'll see if I put together a couple bouquets with some of the flowers that I get out of here. Thanks, everyone.